What's happening, everybody? I am so excited because we are going to be challenging ourselves on this new painting, doing an awesome lighthouse seascape kind of feel. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'm going to teach you it step by step, coming right up. All right, so as you can see, the painting is going to be more vertical this time. All right, it's going to be a nice vibrant painting. We're going to start with our background stuff first, and as you can see, I've got my normal colors: white, green, yellow, red, black, and blue. All right, so no crazy different colors, just obvious plain colors. We do a lot of color mixing, and you'll see that happen right away. So I'm using a large size brush because this is a 16 by 20 canvas. You could use a smaller one if you'd like, but what we're going to do is start with our horizon line, and we're going to do that with a light blue. So I'm going to take a little bit of plain blue on my brush, mix it onto the side of my white. It's going to be a nice, vibrant, beautiful sky. And we're going to start at least with the horizon line. All right, this one's going to be about 2/3 down your canvas, I'd say. So right about here is when you want to make this nice light blue line go right across. Look at that, just a nice little line. All right, and what you want to do is you want to bring in a little bit more blue and white and mix it together. We're going to make a little bit more of that. Now with your brush, this is a great step for practicing. We're going to get a good feel from this line all the way up. We're going to do this kind of like diagonal motion with this blue. All right, you're more than welcome to paint your edges. That's up to you if you want to do that. But we're going to go ahead and make this nice, awesome kind of diagonal sky. Adds a new dimension to, maybe there's some winds going on up there. It just adds a cool fun effect. We're going to do that again all the way up here. And as you can see, some blue got on there. Don't worry about that. If that happens, we're going to fix it. So don't even worry about it. I love when stuff happens out of the ordinary and you just get to find a way to fix it and adjust it. And you can do that on these paintings. All right. Check that out. Now as that's, you can see that's a big glob of paint. I'm just gonna take my finger and go, take it off there, wipe it off on my little easel here, and just let that dry. All right. Acrylic paint dries so quick that we can actually eventually cover that, no problem, a little bit later. All right, so I'm gonna keep on going. And just bringing it up above this line, diagonal motion. And you can see there's some cool separation starting to happen. You can see there's light blues and darker blues starting to, change up that sky. Really pretty step. It's just fun just to see what kind of pops off the paintbrush when you're doing these. Look at elongated brush strokes too. You can see I'm doing really pretty back and forth. And again, just going down to this line. That is my horizon line. Wow, I like the sky already. Your sky might be different at home, no big deal. That's how nature works too. No sky is perfect, they're all different. All right. So you can see I've got that. All right, we're mapping out this painting. So what we want to do is actually put a little bit more blue on that brush, just the plain blue. And we're going to go ahead and make where our land is actually going to meet some water. So we're going to kind of run the horizon line. We're just going to make a little thing kind of go right across here. And with that, we're going to paint plain blue. And I want you to do a back and forth technique, not kind of like that diagonal. I want you to do back and forth, more flat. Okay, take that brush. I'm using a pretty big brush still, trying to fit it in here. So I gotta be careful. We want to stay within those lines. And then again, that back and forth motion, and that will create your water. It's a real quick step, nice and easy. But again, the technique is that going back and forth motion. Okay, You can already see there's some separation. Looks like there's some ripples in the water just for adding that. And if you wanted to, if you're like, okay, I wanted to maybe be a little bit obvious of ripples, you can add a little bit of light blue on your brush, and you can do some little tighter stripe streaks in it. You don't have to, but I'm just showing you how to do it if you wanted it right there. So you can see there's a little bit of a contrast in that water. All right. Again, you can, switch to a smaller brush if you'd like. That helps, making maybe these finer wave ripple effect. All right. Just little streaks. That's all it is. See if I can get another one here. There you go. Yeah, pretty cool. Fun. And not too difficult. All right, so we've made our sky already, and we've made some water. What I want to do is, at least for the moment, there's not a whole lot going on with the sky, so maybe we can add some clouds. So I'm just going to put some plain white on that same brush. And this one's a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of blot or dab some clouds. And it's just a light color. Now I'm picking up some of that original blue, so I'd say after kind of doing this, I'm gonna pick a different brush up, okay? And that's what it all is, just testing it out, seeing what I want to do that round brush. Again, I had some success with that on a different painting, and it just worked so much better. It just the dabbing and blotting of it, the texturizing, it just worked really, really well. And as you can see, look at that, it's just really apparent that it just kind of adds some nice bit of texture. And what I'm doing is layering these clouds. You can see I'm just adding some white, plain white on this brush, and man, just a fun impact, just a different kind of cloud happening. And if you want, take your other brush and you can kind of dust them off a little bit on the bottom. Alright, you can kind of dust them off with your other brush, your flat brush. But again, you go back and forth. Alright, so you can see that wiped off some of that texture. I'm going to go ahead and put it right back on there. But really pretty clouds. That's what you want, is just have these nice, bright, shiny clouds. And they kind of fizzle off on the bottom. Kind of go into the landscape, or seascape, I should say. Okay, watch out for your horizon line. Got close there. And you can bring some of that down to your horizon line, but you want to keep that good separation there. Just keep it looking good. Go ahead and put a little bit more white on that brush. And beautiful. We got some fun clouds happening down there now. Different kind of puffy clouds. Again, you can mess around with it, whatever you like, but I think it just adds a fun effect. It's just something a little extra that you wouldn't get. All right. So we'll let those dry off a little bit right there in the distance, but you got that really cool sky happening up there, so really pretty. Again, if you want, you can put some over here, whatever you'd like. Just gonna keep on having fun with it. And when we're done with this, we're pretty much all done with the sky, and we'll be moving on. You can see I'm just taking some of the excess paint and just blending it in and just tapering it off. All right. we'll let you have that, and then we're gonna start working on our awesome land coming up here. We've got all that available plain white, and we are gonna be doing some color mixing. Now we're gonna change it up. We're gonna do some color mixing. So let's rock and roll on this. We need to make a light brown, like a nice sand, bright, light brown. And you're like, how the heck do I get that out of all these colors here? Well, essentially we gotta make some orange first, okay? So we're gonna just take a little bit of red into our yellow, and that makes a nice light orange. As you can see, I just take a little bit of red into yellow. It saturates it really quickly. Now I'm gonna just take some black and mix it into that orange, and it gets a little mucky. You're like, oh my gosh, what kind of color is this? I don't know about it. All right, so you can see it's just a weird color at first. Don't worry, that is that. But what we're gonna do is scoop up some of this white, and we can really make our really light brown off of. Okay, just bringing some white into the outside over here, and you can see now, check that out, just a really pretty brown, light brown starting to happen. All right, so yeah, it's really different when you're starting to make that brown, but you'll see as we kind of get this on this canvas here what the brown looks like. And you know, it's got a little bit more of a yellow tint on this one. All right, so if you want, you can use less yellow, you can use more of orange if you'd like. But you know, we've got this kind of nice sandy beach going here. Now, it looks like a little bit of blue got on my brush, no big deal. As you can see, I just kind of go with the flow. All right, and I'm just gonna stay away from that blue as it still dries a little bit. And just look at how pretty this is starting to come out to be. It's just a nice, awesome sandy beach. Now, I know, you know, earlier we had some of that blue tint on here. It's okay, it dried off a little bit, so we can kind of cover it up with some of that sandy color, and it just kind of dissipates, just goes away. And then we're just going with the flow, just making this beautiful beach happen. Bring it up here to my horizon line up here. Okay, and then if you want, you can, you know, if it popped up a little bit on you there, whatever, you can kind of go with the flow. You can make some new color happen. You can see that blue's still drying. You just kind of stay a little bit away from it while it does it. And then you can make kind of a rocky cliff there. Maybe some bumps in the land, just to kind of give it a little bit of character. And there you go, just some fun technique. Really pretty color. It's got that sandy thing. Now again, if you want it brighter, all you do is you just put a little bit more white on your brush, and you can just see, you can just add that really white highlight on there, and it blends in, but eventually the more white you put, the brighter it'll get. You see, I can put some down here and just make it really just a nice bright sand. So that's how you do it. That's how you make your sand. Okay, so that's a fun little step there for you. We're gonna go ahead and we'll start making some fun kind of grass, and we'll work on this lighthouse. For the grass, we're just gonna go ahead and just make some streaks. It's really kind of simple. We're gonna take that same brush. It's okay if there's brown on there already. I'm gonna just put a little bit of blue on there, and I'm gonna make some kind of cool lines going. Just having some like little dunes happening on my beach here. You can see just some really pretty fun stuff here. I'm gonna make some smaller distant ones out here just to add a little bit of depth. But check this out, it is so fun just to add these little streaks. All right. Now that's still with my medium-sized brush, but I'm gonna go ahead and just switch it up to a little bit of a smaller flat brush. And I'm gonna use some of that turquoise that I just used, and just kind of go along with the flow a little bit. All right, you can do some yellow right up above it. Just to add a little bit of a highlight up above your low light there. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just go back into my blue. Since I put a little bit of yellow in there, it kind of makes a nice turquoise. And here we go, we're going to make some spikes. Looks like there's some kind of those grass happening on your beach there. I'm using a real small brush. I would recommend using a small brush on this step to make your spikes. And just keep going with flow. Make some spikes out here. These ones are a little bit smaller. They're a little bit in the distance. And we can add a couple different colors of spikes. But we're just starting off with our turquoise. And we'll make some lowlights and highlights off that. Okay, you want to keep those spikes above your little lines that you made. And then if you bring some of that blue into your yellow, it turns green, which is okay. But just a fun step of adding some depth. You can add some bigger spikes here. And then you can bring some more of that blue, add some blue spikes. That kind of adds the shadowing. Make them different. Make all your spikes a little bit different if you can. That adds to a little bit more of the realism. So there you go. And then I'm just going to make a nice little hill right here that we can put our lighthouse on. And then you can add just little patches down here in the distance if you wanted, just to add that kind of depth we were using. Little streaks. Okay, so there is that. Nice, lovely step. Got your little grass patches now. And there you go. See, I can even make some kind of coming off there. Alrighty, there is that. Work on your little grass spikes, and then we'll just we'll keep this party going. It's looking good. Add some more shadows in this guy. And then if you want to, you can add some of that brown in there too. Now let's do that. Using a small brush, you can see it. Cool, there you go, little touch. All right, do that. So acrylic paint dries so quickly that we can actually use plain white as a primer. That's exactly what we're going to do for this lighthouse. So I put some more plain white on my plate because I ran out. But I made this nice little hill right here that we're gonna do is just make a nice little white line going right across it. All right, and as you can see, we're gonna go ahead and start this lighthouse with just plain white. All right, we're just gonna break it down with shapes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this up here, and we're just gonna make a nice line going right on this side. I'm also gonna make another white line going on the other side. All right, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna round off the top. All right, so you can make it that height. We can make it higher if you like, whatever you want, but you just kind of shape it out whatever way you would like it. You can use a small brush to draw with. I'd recommend that just to play it safe. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill it in. You might pick up some of that blue behind there. It's okay. It's just still drying, so it might pick it up a little bit, but no big deal. Again, this is just acrylic paint. Try to stay in those lines. There we go. Shape it out again. And it's a real bright, vibrant kind of painting. See, I'm just carefully just going over it, and that adds a bright lighthouse right there. We're going to do some fun details on this thing here and just, you know, make it real special for us. So what I want you to do is go ahead and, you know, so we're going to switch over to a small size brush and really start going back to like the drawing. Okay, so I'm using a flat size brush right here, as you can see, and it's pretty small. All right, real small. I can draw a little bit more with. I'm just gonna put some plain black on it, and we're just gonna draw like the top of this guy here. So we're gonna do, again, keep that kind of rounded, fun shape going. All right, you can see we're drawing. All right, and we can make kind of some fun things happen on this lighthouse. All right, you can add maybe another little topper that goes the other way. And then we can add like maybe where like the light is going to be in. There's maybe the thing that goes on top. Again, we're just kind of drawing, having some fun with it. And there you go. Okay, each lighthouse is different. Each one has their own little take on it. So we're just gonna make our own. All right, I'm gonna paint in some of this here. Do this first bottom one. And don't worry, we'll add some highlights just to change it up. Here, it's going outward, and then the base where the light's going to be on top. I made some kind of fencing here. Just working that down. You can see like the finer lines. I don't know. Just have fun with it. We can add highlights on and change the look of this whole thing here eventually, so don't even worry about it. And we're gonna let that black dry off. Okay, so rinse off your brush. I'm gonna do that right now. Same brush, I'm just gonna keep using it. That white is still trying to dry off. So as it's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and maybe make a like kind of a fun fence, maybe just happening down here. So I'm going to make a real dark brown. So I'm going to just take black and mix it into that brown that we made earlier. Put a little bit more red into it just to see what it looks like. It's definitely different. Just a darker brown. darker shade of brown. All right, the fence post. Let's do one right here. One right here. And see, we're kind of going with a distance. Now some of these fence posts get knocked down in the weather because you got wind, you got all sorts of stuff going on. And so we're gonna kind of go with that. And then some of it's coming back up. All right, and you just connect them. A little thin. I like to do it bit by bit so it adds a little bit more realism. And there you get like a nice little fence there. Fun. Rinse that brush off again. And go back to my medium-sized brush. That white I know is still drying, but we're gonna just do it anyway. We're gonna go right on top of it. Here we're gonna make some just plain bright red stripes on it. How about that? Change it up. You still want to have that kind of circular motion. So what I mean again is just, you know, doing the swoop up like that. And I'm just making a nice bright red line, almost a little bit pink when it picks up some of that white. There you go. Let's give this thing some bright, awesome. Or just kind of go up. There you go. All right. Make this bottom one maybe a little bit thicker here. All right. But as you can see, the red adds a little bit of a low light highlight thing going on in there, and that pink starts to form. Kind of a fun little step. As best you can. No big deal if it's not perfect, okay? Don't worry about that. Rinse your brush off, all right? Dry it off, and then we can add a little bit of shadowing onto your, and highlights onto this guy here. And what I mean by that is I'm just gonna go ahead and take a little bit of light blue. Mix it up. And I'm just gonna add shadowing on my lighthouse on the white. Light blue. Dang, some of that red got on there. No big deal. Covered it right up. Love acrylic paint. So user friendly. Adds a little bit of shape and dimension to it. You could even add like that little door, whatever you want. Put a little bit of black on my brush. Do whatever there. Okay, and then I'm gonna go head back to my small size brush. Fine detailing, highlights in my black here. I'm putting blue on there, and that adds a tiny little bit of highlighting onto the lighthouse. You can barely see it, but it's just enough to where it gives it a cool feel. Really, really fun. And then I'm going to mix some light blue. start actually having to, you know, really make the shape and everything like that. Gotta be a little bit more careful, but there you go. I think on the red, I want to just go back and detail that up a little bit right now. Just make it a little bit finer lines, but that is it, guys. That is your lighthouse. Enjoy.